Good afternoon and welcome, free enterprise fans. My name is Dathis. I'm going to be one of your commentators today with our very own Rivers McCown. How you doing this afternoon, Rivers?
I woke up for this commentary. Hello.
Insert coffee to Rivers bot, please. All right, guys. So we have ourselves a nice round three race. We have michaelofoz versus rumblefish82. Both of them are currently 1-1 in this gauntlet, and it looks like we got a bit of a Rosa start. As a fantastic looking palette. So, what objectives do you think we're going to be taking a look at today, Rivers?
Five random ones, it looks like. I'm personally hoping for something a little quick and jetty because our boy Poidrak loves to pull that on us. So maybe just find the Mist Dragon at Vanilla Mist with the Kill D Mist and the regular Mist Dragon spot as objectives. So just knock out a lot of it in a little bit.
That's true. We have seen some where we get an objective or two or three within the first about 20 minutes, and some where the first hour in, we're still waiting for that first blip to light up. Scala Kitty in chat showing that that's Marl Rosa from Chrono Trigger, one where she is actually wearing pants. In addition, yeah, mentioning Poidrak, very much a thank you to Poidrak, who is our restream and hosting today, as well as our tracker Fries123, who did a fantastic job commentating last night and is now trying his hand on the other side of things.
Yeah, what I really like about these Swiss round races in round three is when you get the one on ones together. I mean, they're really meaningful because every 3 and 2 qualifies to get into the play-in round. So what you're looking at now is whoever wins this race only has to win one more to get there out of two. Whoever loses has to win out. So it's high stakes even in round three.
Yeah, and speaking of high stakes, they are off, and we're about to see who's going to be running with Rosa today. Looks like it is the lovers duo with Cecil and Rosa starting. The Magus sisters are giving the tower key, so that is a fair bit open when they get to the underground. No keyless tower for us today, but no real overworld or underworld access just yet.
Good. You know what I was saying earlier is just that we haven't seen enough Cecil in these seasons lately. Maybe we could get like an Excalibur, an Antlion Cave, or something, just to make it really simple.
No, no, no. So you got to do it right at ordeals. So the second you turn him into a paladin, there's going to be your excal. Or better yet, because you're commentating with me, it's got to be at Fabul because you don't want anybody to go there.
Love to see Fabul. So we've
Speaking of
got
things you
two
love to
characters
see,
and the giant. Wow.
as a runner, you hate to see it, but as a commentator, you love to see it.
Honestly, as a runner, I'm very much happy to see the giant objective pop up because I know people are going to go there anyway to do D machine grinds fairly often if they get Tellerfu. So when it pops up as an objective, I'm just like, all right, let's go.
Absolutely. And the nice thing about this is so we pretty much are opening ourselves up to a D machine grind at some point and then just finishing it off with the necessary Tela. Or he could be the only one there in the giant. That's also a possibility. Well, we do have Iridia right there, guarded by one of our moon monsters. Nice and easy to find her in the Baron Inn, but that's an objective that it's super easy to find. The White Spear Altar, meaning that the Darkness Crystal is going to be 2 of our 5 objectives right there. The Tell is the only one who's going to be the big number to find, but that Earth Crystal could be hidden very, very deep in the seed. That I think could be our big one that we're going to be searching for today.
So I think we saw a samurai bow in the Damsian basement. That's pretty big early on for this team because DKC isn't going to do a lot of damage, whereas Rose is going to have to carry for a little bit. And yeah, it looks like Rumblefish is setting that up pretty early and headed to Silvera for shopping.
Yeah, and if he goes and checks Baron, there is also a karate body piece there as well, so that does super open up the damage for Rosa there. Starveils and Silps available in Silvera. That's a very simplistically fantastic spot to see.
Yeah, the self summon probably not going to get bought in this seed because Radia is kind of buried a sphere above, but still really nice to see. And if our runners happen to run into a tough hook seed or something, you could see them head there.
Yeah, again, and as we've seen during some of them, the Sylph actually could be very good for the D machine grind if we ever get there. Free healing, free damage on it, so it does a bit of a 2-for-1. Rumblefish, done a little bit of looting. I'm gonna go find us a
Wow.
twin, and there is value on Mount Hobbs. So we have a pair of white mages. We have a D-Mist who's going to hit a little bit like a truck, but Cecil and Rosa are going to be able to cut through that HP pretty easily. And that's a black sword I also saw Michael get from I think that was also Damsian. So Cecil's going to be doing a fair amount on his end. But yeah, there is a free key item check as well as a character. Super value. No exit though, so they're going to have to walk it out.
It is going to be a slow fight, as pointed out in chat, but it's not going to be like devastating. And D-Mist is fairly low power here. Not anything tough, just a little bit slow.
Yeah, to point out to chat who missed, that was a samurai bow and darkness arrows on that Rosa. So yeah, she is no slouch for damage early on. As Michael also put on the karate shirt on her, so he might be putting out about another maybe 50 to 100 damage. But these guys are just going to be getting through this super quick. Could always throw that Bacchus one on Rosa. But again, the counters, yeah, you can even see the almost triple damage that that other Cecil is doing on Michael's side versus Rumblefish's.
Black Sword is pretty good early game if you happen to run into this combination, for sure. Love to see that 375 crit out of Rosa early on.
Absolutely, makes cutting through the HP bars of an early D-Mist super easy to deal with. But yeah, and again, the Black Sword also being a darkness-based weapon, D-Mist, I believe, weak to darkness. You can correct me, definitely Rivers, but I'm gonna just put out that little bit extra damage.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt for sure. But I mean, at this point, it's I think it's 1 turn versus 2 turns for the cycles. So Michael getting here a little bit later, but pretty much catching up a lot of that right now.
Yeah, it's the nice thing. See, this is always the thing. It's like, well, where do you go your first time? Both of them basically finishing off their D-Mists around the same time, getting a fair amount of levels on both characters. Rumblefish first to check towards the back. Poison Axe is going to be really good when Cecil transforms, or if we find a Cane or a Sid very early.
Poison Axe is going to be great when they take it to the shop and offer it to the shopkeeper for money.
That is true. That is a very valuable weapon, so that's a lot to start your early bankroll as well. Rumblefish is, speaking of bankroll, going back towards Bear. Oh, no, I'm going to turn in that key item to get that value. And Michael is diverting, so nice we're getting a little bit of diversions and checks, and he's checking Antline Cave.
I like to see those mute arrows down there. That always makes it see a little bit easier.
Absolutely. We get a Sura in an early or nasty spot, and those arrows are going to do a little bit of work against them. All mages are easy. There's another free character, the Seed That Keeps On Giving. Sandruby, you're going right to Kaipo and picking that up just to start rounding it.
Yeah, I mean, given the way the character is working in these early flag sets, you definitely want to advance early and make sure that you're not missing out on a Fu or an Edge.
Absolutely, and the nice thing, yeah, them being gated behind key items, higher chance of them being there. You could still find that Tela there, or you could get everyone's favorite punch mage, Yang. Kind of like a side prize, but Yang, get him some levels, and he can still carry you to victory, even with base claw.
Looked like there was a light sword in the Antline Cave, so that's a little bit extra for Cecil. I mean, you're actually obviously hoping to run into better along the way, but not bad if they have to hook with that or something.
Absolutely. We have the other Quake kid in the bed, so we got both twins, and we've got, yeah, Cecil's going to be powered up and ready to do some damage when we get to the next side. Also an Elven bow, if you saw, meaning that Rosa is definitely going to be tearing through mages when we get there. Rumblefish looks like he's just gonna try and bypass the NPC percent and do some shopping over in Kaipo, seeing what he's got, selling some items, hopefully something nice.
So we see cabins in Kaipo, not terrible. Kind of want to buy more than 3, but you know, early on, sometimes you get a little money limited.
That is the problem. It's you have so much money in certain places and you don't want to spend it all. We do have a Leviathan at the Antline Cave though, so not an enemy you want to see later on. Those Ice 2s can hurt in some spots. Wave doing a percentage bit of damage. It's pretty okay bit of a boss to find down here. A little bit of HP to chunk through though.
Rumblefish rushing over to Ordeals.
I mean, you got those twins, you've got Cecil. The first thing I'd do is get some XP on that Palom to get him his tier 2 spells. Whereas all Michael gets for his trouble is a nice shiny rock. Could be nice if we find a Legend Sword somewhere early on, so we go underground. That's an Excalibur for Cecil, and one of the best shops in the game.
Yeah, it's definitely seeing a lot of early key items should make our runners pretty happy. And we haven't seen like real progression yet either, so we're guaranteed to probably leave you over level 4, and maybe you get more. So I mean, that definitely leads you closer and closer to that 10 key item bonus for the experience.
Absolutely. We do see an evil wall here, so it's not a bad spot. This is a fairly mid-tier speed spot. Going to be able to just tear through it. The HP bar, I think, is in the neighborhood of around 2-ish thousand, if you want to correct me, if someone else wants to correct me on that. But yeah, this is just pretty much going through the numbers. We've got Michael's retracing Rumblefish's steps now. Probably going to be hitting up Ordeals after getting this bed Palom.
The nice thing about having Twin here is that Evil Wall is coded to counter magic spells. However, because Twin is a command, actually does not draw any counters at all. So they can Rumblefish can twin freely here and not have to worry at all about counter petrifies.
That's very true, and it looks like the attack power or accuracy is at least fairly low because he's been missing almost every one of those crushes. It looks like, except on the Porum. Palom just dodging with ease, no problem. But yeah, it's going to be a nice quick fight from Rumble.
And we've got Michael picking up his Palom over here. Unfortunate couple of comments here. Comment what you want to see against a boss fight where you have multiple enemies, and now because he's gotten it twice, Rumblefish is out of MP.
Yeah, I was about to see. It looks like we got a low MP on them because the twin fails not exactly what you want to see. Yeah, Porum at about the 33, and Palom at base level. He's got to be completely.
Yeah,
as I say it.
That is a vanilla problem, by the way. In this spot.
Absolutely. And Rosa, we see, knocks out with some arrows. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. Gets those spells on Palom. The back attack spot's going to be a little bit of fun, but a quick 10 to recover the MP, and he'll be slogging through that with little ease.
Yeah, I can't say that doing Ordeals early is a bad play, so much as when I look at the damage for this team, I'm a little concerned. So hopefully there's not anything too rude here.
So what personally would have been maybe a little bit easier, as we see Michaelo also doing a bit of divergence again and going off to maybe get that Rydia, is the Elements. I was going to ask if this was even randomized instead of Mylon Z Sprite, but I guess French Vanilla, since we got the entire.
This has been lightly randomized, folks.
Speaking of randomized, we have the Lunar boss, the first one being D-Lunars, smacks down that Palom who's in the front row, whereas Dark Knight Cecil's doing 20 damage with that Darkness Wave. One of those J abilities that you're only seeing through the randomizer and not what you see in the.
Well, we've got some reflex strats going on here on Rumblefish's side. Bouncing those Cure 2s to avoid taking the elements into the Ruby phase, which is very smart actually, because in this spot the magic damage is pretty high and that Ruby can really smack you around.
Absolutely. And speaking of Cure 2s, Michaelo casting Cure 2 to get through that, and we have an Odin as the second side, whereas Rumblefish gets through with those reflex super.
Now, this is actually kind of a tough setup for Michael here. He does have the Black Sword, which gives him a little extra, but he's going to have to avoid some big hits here.
Yeah, that's the big thing. This is the Yang spot, so it has around 2400 HP if I remember correctly, maybe something closer to 4K. I can't. Again, my numbers are not I'm bad with numbers, but the thing is it hits super hard. You see even Rosa in the back row taking almost 400.
Yeah, this is a 4K spot.
You want that for a TV, not for a boss this early on.
There is a magma key at ordeals, so underground progression forced through ordeals, unless of course you're into a hook or something and you want to get cheeky.
Yeah, we could have the hook at Baron, but with us having such an early Cecil, they're both going to be getting it. And a CPU for your troubles, a boss you'd really like to see out of the way very early.
Yeah, you should always be ecstatic if you happen to find CPU this early.
Michael doing not apparently aware that you're doing casting because he's going to go see what's happening at Fabul.
Hey, nobody listens to me. It's fine.
Thor Rages and Cure 1s just in the Fabul shop, not bad for later on. Pretty decent disc to have in case you find Kegnazo in a really fast spot. Thor Rages can deal with that. Or if we find an early Gauntlet, handles all those low HP enemies.
Yeah, the Gauntlet spot has gotten a little bit better, I feel like, with the all Gauntlet flags. Like, they aren't easy anymore. But definitely those Thor Rages can help out early on. Even in like little like ordeals grind if you wanted to.
Yeah, or if we say get the Darkness Crystal even from here, you don't want to go and run to do the D Machine grind because you don't have it. A little known fact that we've seen in one race, the grenades on the moon, if you hit them with a lightning spell, they cast reaction, which kills themselves and everything along with it. You only get XP for the grenade though, but it's still, I think, 24k XP for a free quick hit. Speaking of quick hits, we have Ogopogo, a Nope Rope in a very early spot in Fabul, attacking there. Good place to get out of the way early.
Another great area to have twin magic, because again, another boss where counters every magic spell of something, but the twin is a command, so it can counter the twin.
And apparently he's had enough of the twin magic. One hit goes and smacks down Palom. Not a paladin just yet, so Cecil can't quite cover it, but the cures hopefully will come out fast and loose, and yeah, they'll get through he'll get through this absolutely very easily because Big Wave is only based on percentage HP.
I want to point out that in this case, fading Fabul would be 100% the correct play, because you're definitely going to get Sheila. You can definitely pair up Sheila 1 at the very least. But let's see if Michael is rewarded for his early gameplay.
Now, the really fun thing would be if he got the pan from this Fabul play, so that he can go get the Magma Key, go underground, smack Yang, come back and do the 2 checks and as well as get that Sylph Cave reward. There's the hook from Fabul, so we do have both axes. Was that a crystal sword I saw? Or was that just a crystal helmet?
That was just a helmet, yeah. That was a troll hook right there. Hopefully it doesn't throw Michael anywhere terrible. However, also could be finding Tell at that hook, so I wouldn't hate it.
It is very true, and we don't really need to worry about the boss hunts. We've got D-Mist super out of the way earlier, for those of you who missed that out. D-Mist on the top of Hobbs with our Porum, so no real boss hunts in this, no real key item hunts that way. So we got that super out of the way to give us our...
Yep, so we're looking for the Earth Crystal, the Darkness Crystal, and then after that, it's all character hunt. We know where the Radia is, that's in Baron N. The Tella has still eluded us.
Absolutely, and Rumble looks like he's going right down to the Fey March, going to get that free key item, see what bosses are there. Probably not going to fight them at this level unless you, because Rosa doesn't even have Blink, so you can't just choose it that way. We do have an Ogre Axe in Silvara, though, so that's something that could be picked up for...
and Rumblefish heading to the Fey March. Gonna see that key item check, gonna see those 2 bosses check. Given the objectives, probably not gonna see the bosses fought yet, unless they are completely free. But always good to know what they are at least.
Exactly, knowing what you might see, unless they're both two lunar sparkles, in which case then you still have no idea what's going to be there. But yeah, knowing that just maybe we get a scary boss out of the way, maybe we have Kegnazo down here, maybe Valvalis is hiding down here, so we don't have to worry about her in a more root spot, for example.
Getting the package, so package could be Tella. I mean, that could definitely be a key item that matters in the seed. Could also be like a foo or something where you would just want to take it anyway. And Bacchus wine down here in the shop. Rumblefish not in a great position to buy, looks like, but gonna get a few out of this at least.
Absolutely, a pair of Bacchus wines. One will be really good for the Z fight, or another one would be good if he just wants to throw that up super quick in another location just to get that lightsaber Cecil doing damage. Whereas Michael is about to find himself the first fight of the evil wall here as well. Gonna have a little bit easier of a time of it if he continues those twin strats, because his Paladin's gonna have a little bit more MP, so nothing really to worry about.
Yep, Michael probably in a good spot here. Rumblefish about to come down and see the evilness down here, and we're gonna get a doll fight and the ruby fight because we've already seen elements. Dolls, if you find the hourglass, not bad, but kind of not a party that you have a lot of damage with right now.
No,
ruby is brutal.
yeah, that Rubicante is going to be very scary. If you can get that hourglass 2 off, you're going to be in good shape. But yeah, Rumblefish just says no and is going to leave, whereas Michael gets through that evil wall fight super easily.
I hate that red imp so much. Every time you save and reload, that red imp always walks up to that one spot. He is the worst NPC of the game.
Yeah, he is definitely one of the ones I'm not a fan of. The Dwarf Castle dwarf on the left-hand side, if you are just that little bit too slow, because you paused for some reason or another, he can block your way, and we've seen him absolutely block runners' ways more than the old lady in the Kaipo Inn, which is very rude.
So Rumblefish doing the early Fabul big brain play here. Gonna check out Yang. Trigger the key item get in Sheila 1, so he'll get 2 key items out of Fabul instead of just the one hook that Michael has. Michael, meanwhile, making short work of elements, about to get his magma key.
Absolutely, and Rumblefish sorry, not Rumblefish. Chad also pointing out that the Troya lady, the one right in front of the entrance, that's another one that no one's really a big fan of either. She blocks many a runs.
That one I don't mind very much because you can just walk in and out of a door and she's gone. But I feel like that red imp is just a tough spot all around.
Absolutely, and Michael walking in, going to get himself the Magma Key, while Rumblefish is going to go check Sheila before he defends Fabula, it looks like, if he defends Fabula.
Kind of surprised that we haven't seen anybody do that ready spot in Baron and coming up on 20 minutes. I know that they've been a little low leveled, but Rumblefish has kind of skipped around a little bit. He's kind of been all over the place.
Absolutely, and with him having that lightsaber as well, and now having the pair of Bacchus wines, he could throw down a wine no matter what's there and pretty much destroy whatever he's going to be coming up against. Cecil's got a handful of levels under his belt and going to be really easy to take care of that. Also, Rumblefish taking advantage of that free heal that happens in Fabul when you go to start this gauntlet, and is about to go deal with his Ogopogo himself.
And I believe Rumblefish didn't actually check the spot. Did I miss that? I think he just got chests.
Yeah, it looks like he just got chests. Didn't actually check the key item, which is very interesting considering he started up the Sheila Tower after coming right there. You figured he would have just double dipped, but if you're coming down from another tower, maybe that's what you're saving it from.
Ooh, popping the back of the Bacchus here for Ogopogo.
Hey, you got it's sometimes it's not about item efficiency, it's about sending a message. And popping that about almost 200 damage with Poison Axe, yeah, I kind of agree with the Bacchus just to give Cecil that little bit more oomph as opposed to having more arrows being spent here unnecessarily.
Well, you got the twin spell. I think Rumblefish may not know, but you can use that twin spell without getting countered here, just given the way he's playing the fight.
That is true. There's a lot of things with some of the abilities and some of the later boss fights that you don't really know about that. Like you don't have twin for Evil Wall. You don't have twin for Ogopogo. So you think, oh, it's actually technically casting a spell. He could have caught on that when he fought Evil Wall and it didn't trigger the counterattacks that it normally did. But not everyone kind of thinks about that. And again, in these kind of racing scenarios, your tension's still a little high. Yes, we're only 20 minutes in, but there's still that whole, okay, I want to do this, or I got this, or he's got something else weighing on his mind and just doesn't think about it. As we all do, we're all human. We're all prone to mistakes.
Another fun fact, if you really want to do 1,200 damage to Zero Miss, you can absolutely twin magic against him and get no counters. So go nuts, folks.
Yeah, like you said, it doesn't count as a spell, so that's a big thing. Rumblefish also getting this hook, definitely going to be fading that location unless he just jumps right down to grab the character, which he could go get the character, exit, and then park the ship by where the rat tail turn-ins are, and save himself some time later on. Also opens up the shop with the possibility of some sirens.
Rumblefish, please don't forget about your location that you opened up. It's free. It's free, man. You can do it.
And speaking of free, also a free gun near there. So if we find the cane, he's going to be throwing out some decent damage. Looks like he may have forgotten about the Sheila check. Oh, and see, that's the thing. We talk about it, the caster curse. Say something, and they do the absolute opposite.
This is why I talk out loud. I was just, mentally willing this to happen.
There he is. There's the check, and let's see what Sheila is hiding today, objective-wise. Just a crystal ring. Still going to be really great to have on any one of your characters because that's, I think, one of the only rings that give elemental resistance, or is that the protector?
Yeah, that's I believe that's the protect ring. But either way, it's a nice piece of equipment right now, and definitely you're looking at that being really happy. You know that your dwarf castle fight's going to be a little bit easier. So.
Absolutely, and a little bit more shopping percent happening on both Michael and Rumblefish's side. But yeah, so it's got you a little bit of shopping. So while we're here, we've been talking about the Fabul Gauntlet. I know a lot of our people who are watching know what it is. But give us a little bit about what the Fabul Gauntlet is and where we're currently standing in the Swiss rank.
So the Fabul Gauntlet is our first ever 1v1 Swiss tournament. Every other free enterprise thing so far to date has involved, at least 4 racers per race. This is kind of a new thing for us. We are at round 3 right now, about halfway through, I'd say. And so far, people really enjoying it. That's been pretty good, doing some pretty good numbers on RBG Blood Break as well as here. And of course, Random Mania helping out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have Michael going to make another check at one of the 2 characters we're needing, as Rumble is going to follow in his footsteps and finish off the Antline Cave before we go. I'm presuming underground, as this is the last overworld check we can do, right?
Why are we doing this, man? We faded this already. We're supposed to, if you're going to skip it all the way, man. Lean in.
Some people like to be thorough. Some people don't want to go to Dwarf Castle just yet with these.
No, I get it. I'm just, you got to lean into the couch memes when they appear, and this is one of them.
Absolutely. But we do have Michael going to be hopefully getting through this Odin fight a little bit easier. Cecil's a little bit low of an HP, but these Thor Rages should do a little bit of work. Oh yeah, 600 damage for a lit one is nothing to scoff at. We're about to see Paladin throw out some good damage.
Yeah, this is another spot where those Thor Rages really come in handy.
Porum still eating dirt, and Rosa taking almost, again, 300 damage from those hits. Really hurts, but an 1800 damage lit 2 is nothing you really like.
Don't forget about those Thor Rages, man. They did a lot of work. You don't have to give them up. Ooh, Cecil tumbled down.
Speaking of giving up, Cecil's decided he's done standing up and just taking a quick little dirt nap.
There we go. Gets through. So Michael becomes our first runner to complete an objective, getting Radia. Light up that number 2, please. And we've got a Legend Sword, so our Cecil will now have Excalibur.
Yeah, and
You
as
hate
we
to see it.
see on, hey, you hate to see it. I love to see it. And as we see on Rumblefish, that's where the adamant was. That's already on Michael's side. So we have the entirety of the Excalibur available to us. We have underground access too, in the easy way of the Magma Key. So that is a free. That's one of the freest Excals you're going to see. Plus access to that coal shop, which has a 5-item list of some of the best items weighted in the seed.
I would probably check out that hook first, just in case it was a really good character. Make things a little bit freer for the Dwarf Castle fights, but I totally understand just hoofing it down there. You've got the Excal. Everything's pretty open at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, finish off the overworld, then go underground because you can be living there for a while. With that early tower key, we can do the full tower. We have the entirety of Dwarf Castle. We're not going to be touching those Fey March bosses just yet, but maybe soon. Especially considering the dolls can be free with that hourglass that we have. And the coal shop, we have Ribbon, Life Staff. I saw Moon Veils, I'm pretty sure as well. So this is a fairly stacked shop to have. Those Star Veils are fantastic, but the Moon Veils. So what is the full difference? I know little bits here and there, Rivers, but what are the full differences between Star Veils and Moon Veils?
Well, Star Veils pop up just the Reflect spell on a long timer. Moon Veils pop up the Reflect spell and a different stat effect called Barrier, which sets your physical defense to 255, which basically makes you untouchable for the remainder of the fight via physical attacks. You can still get hit by magic, but you've got Reflect up. But there are definitely enemy spells that also bypass Reflect. So there are some enemies that can give you some problems, but generally speaking, throw Moonveil up and you're bulletproof.
Yeah, that's one heck of a level of defense. You don't want to get hit, so throw one of those up and you're safe for the rest of the fight. Michael, going to be checking the Tamra shop, and maybe we have a medical records technician as our job dwarf. The seed is officially validated.
Medical records technician. That is a job you could do. And we've got hourglasses here, so that's really nice for the dolls fight. I'm guessing probably Tower Key is going to win out here because you got 2 checks there as well, and one of them is guaranteed to be easier. But at least when you actually do wind up doubling back to the Fey March, you have a chance with these bosses now.
Yeah, Michael's first time going through to the Fey March, gonna check to see what he's got going on, grab that package for himself. They still haven't checked the package character yet on Rumblefish's side, so might be doing so after getting this Rydia, guaranteed character that he needs. Maybe Tella's hiding back there. Again, we still have a fair amount left to checks. We got the Darkness Crystal, we have Lunar Ruins, we have the Giant, we have Earth Crystal, 2 characters, and then Baron Key after that, as well as this package. So we got about a third of our checks left for characters.
Yeah, the reason I would be doing those character checks early is because the way this seed is played out, actually, we don't care that much about the bosses. We have no boss hunts. So if there is nothing in package and there is nothing at the hook, then you just reset and bail, and it's 20 seconds gone.
Absolutely. Rumblefish, though, not paying attention to either the hook or the package characters that we keep trying to get them to go towards, and is just going to wander around, get himself that Excalibur as well, and see that fantastic Moonveil shop. Wonder if he's also going to be purchasing 1 or 2 here. Whereas Michael is going and grabbing himself a handful of those Bacchus wines as well. Cecil's going to get White Girl wasted tonight.
Doggo percent happening in the background for you, I see.
Cat, but close enough.
Shake it, cat. Shake it out. And we've got a lot of shopping going on right now. selling the light sword off. And what are we picking up here? Rumblefish.
With that Excalibur, yeah, the light sword's not really necessary, and we have no edge to throw any weapons yet, so anything you're not keeping is definitely a way to be sold.
We've got a ribbon pickup and one moon veil. Okay. That means both of our runners have a purchased ribbon.
Yeah, and we got the back row glitch going on with Cecil's side. So for those of you who aren't aware of that, while the runners are still running around and doing new old checks, the back row glitch is when you put a ranged weapon on someone to give them the ranged bit. In the vanilla game, they never actually got rid of that check, or the check to take it off when you removed those weapons. So you can have your melee fighters do full damage from the back row if they can somehow wield a ranged weapon. Kane, the only way you can do that is with the dwarf axe. Cecil can use bows, no problem. Sid has the dwarf axe. Edge has his boomerangs he can have. The only melee fighter that you cannot back row glitch is Yang. He's the only one who has to be up front with punch magic.
Not technically speaking true, but only because you can glitch something onto him via the steal command. But otherwise, yes, you cannot normally do that.
The most average way of doing it. The average, I don't think I've ever seen a runner that has gone and tried to steal an item to try and make Yang back row. You can correct me if you've ever seen it, but I've only been around for a couple of months. Speaking of not being around very long, Michael sees what's down here in the Fey March, and he is very promptly exiting right out.
Yeah, that steal glitch is a cat of seed special. That's what you're looking for right there.
Yeah, I'm not a runner of many cataseeds, but I do not doubt that. I've run exactly one, and they are no joke. But that's the nice thing about this randomizer. You can make it as hard or as easy as you want, and everything can be randomized. Speaking of everything, we're going to have our first check up in tower with a quick, looks like 10, sort from Rumblefish, going to give us a look at what those two key items are holding.
And it'll be interesting to see if Michael stays in dwarf or not. He definitely has enough firepower to take it out now. I think he's trying to purchase his weight in coffins. Shopping percent ain't easy.
The true actual final boss. We say Zeromus is the final boss of these seeds for the races, but no, it is 100% inventory management. We do see an Asura here as the first boss, taking up the doll location. Not a bad spot to see her. With the Elven Bow Mute Arrow combination, Rosa should be dishing out a whole heck of a lot of damage. And a Berserk on Cecil, probably keep her life glitch. Speaking of Cecil, we have Pain as the first space of the tower key.
Yeah, nice spot to run into the Dark Knight. This is actually kind of an annoying spot for sure because she's pretty fast, and you have to burn 2 star bells without having a wall casting character. But otherwise, nothing too terrible. Just going to be a matter of runner skill at this point.
Absolutely, and Rumblefish is opposed to waiting for Cecil to do the 3 dark waves. 2 of them wiping out most of his team. 1 quick auto attack just absolutely puts down the Dark Knight. Not waiting for that script. Whereas Asura is currently wailing a little bit on the characters. So the most interesting thing, a lot of people have gone through this fight and they notice that the dolls don't hit very hard. But the way this place works its stats is it takes its attack stat off of the big doll. And the attack stat from there, as you can see, knocking Porum for a solid 500 damage. This is not exactly a light-hitting location.
Yeah, this is definitely a tier up from what we've seen so far. And down goes Cecil. So you're going to see the Cure 4 pop out and the reset follow up.
Absolutely. And we see Rumblefish just leaving the tower. I don't think I saw him get a key item, but he's not checking the top of tower, not doing the 2-for-1, just wanting that tower key item instead.
One of the things I really enjoy about doing these races where it's not like big name players is you can get some wacky kind of off the wall plays. And I guess Rumblefish is going to fade that top of tower, or he just wants to see what this is before he continues up.
That's a rat tail. That might be a really smart play. This can be fairly heads up, and you hate to see it as a runner. Love to see it from the side. Just doing a little bit of sightseeing as you land in the wrong spot on the underground on the way to the overworld. But yeah, could be grabbing this hovercraft, which he needs to go talk to Anna's dead body to, and then grabbing either hopefully the character as well, but definitely going to be turning in this rat tail check.
So this time Michael is actually getting the wall up on Ashura. Question's going to be how to do that damage. And I don't know if Michael's party has Blink yet. So I mean, he might actually have a character with the Elven Bow set up. I didn't see yet, but
I'm
still going to be prone to getting smacked around here, unfortunately.
Absolutely. I believe I saw his Porum with the Elven. Yeah, that's got to be Porum with the Elven Bow doing 1400 damage like that. And Sura says, we are having none of that today, and just bops her right on down. And Rydia shortly to follow.
Young lady, I've had enough of this nonsense. That's required Earth Crystal. Hanging out.
That is a very bold move at the rat tail. One tower check. Again, not quite key items. There could still be the darkness crystal hiding at the top of tower, though. This earth crystal, though, gives the Troya treasury, gives a lot of treasure for our runner, and also does give it access to 2 key items right away. 2 character checks and another key item afterwards. So this is a very, very big item to be finding very early. We could get that Tele there. We could find one of our dupes there, or we could find somebody else to round out this team a little bit better than what we currently have.
Yep, but Michael slowly plugging away on this fight. Kind of a tenuous spot right now. Not getting a lot of damage in before our Cecil and Porum get owned, so gonna be kind of tenuous. We'll have to see.
Yeah, Ether 2's for sale in Toria, the pass shop location. So that's not bad to be finding there, knowing that you got those later on the seed. But yeah, this is Sora definitely smacking around the team. Counterattacks definitely hurt. I believe 21 for Blink, and Porum not being there yet. It's going to be a little bit hard without that Blink. Oh, and looks like the wall has fallen off, so it's going to be healing up a lot of the damage that's been done. Yeah, quick reset. Don't really blame that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That is, if you don't have a plan to stop Ashura's counterattacks, that is not an easy spot. However, taken to the tower could save some time if there's nothing at Dwarf Castle.
Absolutely, and Rumblefish going through these chests, notable items there. Got another hourglass too for free, and as we also got a cursed ring. So the nice thing is Zeromus, the final boss, his agility is based off of your middle character, and you don't want to have him too fast or too slow, or you have a very scary attack going on, or too fast based on your other characters. So you can adjust his speed based upon what the agility of your middle character is. The Cursed Ring gives you a couple of things. It's minus 15 to all stats, and it also inverts all of your resistances to absorbing, or adds it to that one step. So finding that underground, the Troya treasure chest is very fantastic. Another samurai bow is nothing to scoff at either, but those are the 2 big ticket items there.
Yeah, the Cursed Ring, it should be said, not only for Zeromus, but in every fight in this game, the calculation for agility is based on what your middle slot character is. In these flags, in the vanilla game, it's based on only Cecil, but in this game, we kind of had people rebel and want Cecil to be good, and we've got a vanilla Dr. Luggage here.
Obligatory, is this even randomized? But yeah, Luge at the top of tower. Maybe, unfortunately, he can't give a vanilla tower key, as we already have that. But is going to give us our first look up here, seeing if Rumble did the smart move and fading it, whereas he's going up to the Tower of Zot. I absolutely agree with doing that to check those characters.
Yeah, this is actually fairly kind, considering what you can run up against here. In like the speed run sense, this would be a fight that you normally take on around level 20 or so for your party. So not too bad, but we don't have anything. We don't have like a Thunderclaw. We don't have a hammer to really exploit the fight, so it's going to be a little bit slow.
Very true. We may not have those, but we do have a black mage in the form of Palom instead of Rydia here, where she doesn't have her tier 2 spells or even really any spells, being level 1 with that 30 HP right there. But yeah, the Berserk and the Lit 2s from Palom are going to do a lot of work, even if that Balnab is going to be smacking his healers and other characters around a little bit.
It's me, a big enthusiastic fan of Balnab's haircut.
Rumblefish is opening all the treasure chests in Zod, it looks like. Maybe for some experience, but definitely going to be getting some loot from this Flame Dog chest. The really nice thing that I've seen from these chests, the trap chests have kind of fallen off in the wayside in the Fabul Gauntlet checkings, but the nice thing is you can get some high-tier gear from here. I've seen White Spears, I've seen Mirasama and Asamuns. There is the highest level of gear possible from these locations. So it's a nice check while you're going up here, as well as just a nice little bonus of experience.
Yeah, the experience on this fight doesn't really matter a whole lot, but you can pick it off pretty quickly, and you could find something big here. Charm Rod, not like what you want to see here, but it does help out your Palom a little bit.
Answer in chat that was answered, but I'm going to confirm it here. The only thing our runners are missing is Darkness Crystal for Go mode, and that is very true. Darkness Crystal and Tella, yes. If we find an old man up here, it's going to be fantastic. If he's in the Giant of Babel, a nice 2-for-1 is always even better. But the big thing, the big standout right now is the White Spear altar, because it's one of those spots on the moon that we're probably going to be checking before we do the Giant. We do have a Lunar Sparkle here as well, so we've already seen D-Miss, or the D-Lunars. Here's just the Plague, though. Not a bad spot for him, though.
Balnab Z does not mess around. KOs a lot of Michael's party here. We're going to get this. Is Bacchus going to get off in time? I don't think it is. No, he's going to be poisoned still. So this is kind of a tough spot for him.
So what's so special about this poison? Why couldn't he get the Bacchus off?
It's not this poison in particular. I mean, any poison will do. It's kind of about the status priority and how you can only have one unless the detailed explanation about how if you get hit by all of them at once, you can get all of them at once, but otherwise, like it's a priority system.
Aside from Berserk, is there anything else that poison stats will prevent you from doing or will block you from?
Yeah, I mean, we've already talking about in the chat, Yang's Focus is up there. There are a couple of commands that get blacked out by it. I think I'm not sure where it is on the priority exactly, but depending on, you may not be able to use something like regen or something maybe, because we never have food there.
No. Also, additionally, we see Rumblefish taking a bit of a reset against that Plague, either not killing a character off or not getting a chance to race. Speaking of characters also going down, that Luge laser right to Cecil's face, putting him down as well. A rude couple of fights that they're going to have to deal with.
Yeah, Michael really having a problem with this party setup as currently constructed. Everything just seems a little bit too strong for his party. Not like overpowering, but it's like one of those things where it's just enough to roll you over.
Yeah, and the problem here is you definitely need to keep someone a little wounded or something for this fight, or just put that Rydia right down so that you can get through this fight a little bit easier. The raise to reset those count timers could be the big issues here. Maybe using the stop to stop the timer. I don't understand the use of the stop on Rydia either, personally.
Yeah, chat pointing out that you don't see wiping the Luge every day. I will point out that I have wiped the Luge in one of the Zima Zone races where he was at the Odin spot, and I was like a little bit underleveled, and he's got that emission, and that emission in that spot did like 300 damage a piece to everybody, and just too fast. Like it can't happen. I mean, I've wiped a King Queen up one in this randomizer before. You go to Lion Cave with Rhea and Edward, and you have nothing you can really do about it. Like it can happen, man.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, like, how do you wipe to them? And then he said that, and like that's a pairing that does it. Speaking of things getting done, we have Michael on the left going through, getting out that DK Cecil or that DKC out of the way, going to be picking himself up the rat tail. Whereas Rumblefish getting through, we do have our duplicate character, 2 Rydias in this seed, as well as another character to check. That is also the Baron Guards as the second boss in the Dwarf Castle. So having that knowledge is going to be very nice for some free experience.
Wow, Baron in is not even required anymore. Why even bother?
And Yang up here as well. A nice little melee fighter to add in. We have seen a fair amount of claws. I think we've seen Charm as well as definitely the invenerable special of the Thunder Claw. But Michael going to be checking out.
That is a required package.
There's Tella. Where did we get the package from again? So it was from Feymarch, the free Feymarch key item, giving us the other required character.
So at this point, knowing what we know right now, Michael at least he doesn't hasn't turned into the rat tail yet. But all we will need to complete the seed is a darkness crystal.
That's true, and right now the Rude Luge could be the one holding it, or we could have to fight those Feymarch bosses. That is still a possibility. But as it looks right now, yeah, we just have the Darkness Crystal required. We've already found Demist, so it's not a Demist hunt for the key item. We've done all the overworld checks we can do, aside from Luge and a cheeky Feymarch fight, as well as the Dwarf Castle. I almost forgot about that. We have those as our last checks before we're starting to get a little stonewalled before rabbit holing.
Well, we could still have whatever comes out as Earth Crystal as well. But yeah, I mean, we definitely have a lot of the upper tier still left at the underground.
Another
Poydrak, did you even bother, man? Did you even try?
All right, so we got Michael making that slow walk in for the cutscene to put the old man to bed. He's resting. He's going to be doing a whole lot of heavy lifting very shortly. So I do sense a D-Machine grind on the table. We still don't know what's in the Evelyn shop. I don't think we're going to get a check of that shop whatsoever, considering we found the Tella. But we do have everyone's favorite. We have a Gauntlet to get that Tella. You want him. You've got some fights to do.
Boy. Does every race cycle have to have this exact scenario?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this is very similar to something you've done before?
But yeah, this is a spot where, as we pointed out earlier, those Thor Rages will come in handy and really make this trivial. Just sitting through a bunch of animations and that's it.
Remember when I said that those Thor Rages are going to come in handy when we find a nice low-level Gauntlet? Yeah, I think I saw the future right there. Answer the question in chat from Baka Shinobi. Have we seen our duplicate? Yes, we have 2 Rydias in the seed. Rydia was in Baron Inn. She was also at the top of the Tower of Zot in Kane's vanilla spot.
So we will be lighting up that 3 on the tracker for Michael pretty shortly here. And then from there, we'll have to conquer the White Spear and do the Giant of Battle. So only the Darkness Crystal remaining.
The really interesting thing is seeing what we get from Rumblefish's check. If we get the Baron key, that's going to be a fun little check. Twin Harp would honestly be a personal favorite because I'm a big fan of music here. Just a Ninja Sword, though.
Or it could just be Mura the same.
Sorry, who am I commentating with? I thought I had Rivers, Mr. I Hate Puns McCowan.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Baka Shinobi.
Your voice has changed, Baka. I didn't recognize you.
Well, I try to throw it off the throw off the scent so that I can commentate as much as possible.
Ah, I see how it is. So we have Rumble going to be doing the dive into Dwarf Castle, maybe grabbing a couple of those coffins. After seeing the Baron guards, 100% don't disagree with that. Great use to get rendered. There's a rune axe though, and a blizzard spear. Again, we find a cane. He's got an array of weapons to be utilizing. Rumblefish fighting the second hardest end boss of the game with NPC percentage.
The item from Zot was a Murasame, so nothing. And Rumblefish now going to be, perhaps can be the hero to take out this Asura on stream. Unfortunately, Michael wiped to it twice, did not go very well for him, but Rumblefish might be in a little bit better position.
Again, with the low damage that he had when he first attempted this bot, 100% understandable. He is going to be grabbing himself the Earth Crystal, though, from this rat tail. I do hope he goes and checks the character at the Evelyn Cave, because again, the shop could have sirens. That's a great infusion of XP, and we do have a lot of other characters out there. We still have Edge, we've still got Fu, we've got Kane, and we have an Edward possibility as well. Seeing as we've already gotten our dupe, but there is still other characters to be putting into this team. It's okay to be using as it is, but there's obviously some upgrades that we can have at the current moment if we want to change.
Blink, having Blink here for Rumblefish is actually a pretty big deal. That was one of the reasons that Michael couldn't get past it earlier, just not having a real defense to the Ashura Bops.
Yeah, and that Cecil taking a fair bit less damage. The extra spells, Virus definitely going to be doing a lot more damage than just the regular tier 2s. Having Yang here, that Charm Claw, does more damage to just giants, not exactly to mages, but just that raw physical damage in and of itself is always nice to have.
Yeah, I believe I've looked at Rumblefish's setups before on his Cecil, and he's got a lot of crystal gear on that Cecil as well. A lot of runners will actually wind up selling that stuff, but in this case, he's taken 2 front row hits and still ticking.
Absolutely. Crystal gear being fantastic for selling, for shopping percent, but also Palom is definitely going to be one of the last ones standing here because he does have that rune ring on. Rune ring taking 4 times less damage from mages, so taking nothing in that back row from any of Asura's auto attacks. Michaelo checking the chests in the underground, getting himself, in the Troya treasury, also getting himself that cursed ring. Does nope out of the tower though. Is not currently a bad idea because again, we know tower is not exactly required, but we do have, and we have the package, so we can just run right over there and grab that character. But again, he hasn't checked that yet and doesn't quite know what's hiding. Or was it him that checked the character?
He Sorry, I got that back already. Yeah, so he knows that Earth Crystal character is not required at all, and he's only looking for the Darkness Crystal now. So one of those things where kind of the scenario that you enter can make a big difference. And for Michael, it's he knows he doesn't need those 2 characters at all. And fortunately for him, they're not even good characters. So if he fades it, more power to him.
Absolutely, and we see the Starveil running out on Asura's side, currently just in the life lock. If we can get it locked in there, never mind. Cecil's just going to pop her once and get her knocked down, getting a few levels across the board. Quake Kid is online with his signature spell, and we're going to get ourselves a heaping helping of damage right now.
And because we saw it earlier at the Earth Crystal, we knew that Rumblefish would run into some guards here of some sort, and getting an edge for his troubles as well. Well, that Murasame sure did get a lot more appealing all of a sudden.
Yeah, even without the Murasame, I would still take Edge over Yang. A couple of swords and Edge will just absolutely start to outshine Yang until he starts hitting the late 30s, early to mid 40s is when they start to come around line with basic gear. But yeah, that Mirasame definitely makes Edge an even more attractive option by comparison to anyone. Getting rid of that Rydia, 100% agree. Quick Quake, and we're done with this fight. Blink and you miss it.
And looks like Michael is going to climb that Earth Crystal Tower. Unfortunately, not going to pay off for him right away. But I mean, you are right here. It's it's kind of easy to defend just doing it.
And something that was mentioned in chat was said the objective-driven enhancements to Free Enterprise. Yet that is new to the 4.0 version of Free Enterprise. Objectives, you can do anything from fight-specific bosses, do key item locations, anything along those lines. Very brand new, and we're really showing them off all the objectives that we can possibly have. Whereas, speaking of showing off, Rumble's going to show us what Luca's hiding. We have some music on the table, though.
Well, nobody likes that. So, I mean, obviously, the play right now is to go to Fame Arch and take out the dolls.
No. He still has the Luge spot. We got to go do that there first. Then we have to go do Fame Arch, and we leave music alone. Not for the people.
I mean, they already validated the seed. What else do people want?
The people want everything. Michael's going through the footsteps of Rumblefish, going to be going up to the Tower of Zot, going to fight the Plague fight. Going to be a whole lot easier with the extra spell list, and probably just walk all over that fight. Tell and Palom going to be the heroes of this fight.
Greedy chat. Demanding the music. That is a ninja sword for sale for Rumblefish, and might be tempted to ship off that Gungnir to make it happen.
Absolutely. You're not seeing my boy in this seed. I would definitely be buying one of those, and actually a pair of those cat claws too. This is a loaded weapon shop. Those cat claws, one of the Yang's best weapon as well. So you can get one ninja sword, get a cat claw or two, and your DPS are completely online. Excalibur, Mirasame Ninja Sword, cat claws, you're just ready to just throw down and smash everything.
Counterpoint, until Yang becomes level 50, he's pointless. So, Hey,
if you plan on keeping him around, you're going to get him up to that 50 level point, which, in all honesty, I would, especially after you've dedicated selling the spears. Definitely keep him around, level him up, and make him to that usefulness. Because you get him to level 50, he goes from hitting like an average man to the one punch man.
Are we getting music? Yes, we are. Rumblefish heading to the music, becoming a hero of the chat and an enemy of the commentators.
The people's champion. He has your heart's chat. He is going to give you everything that we always want to hear. And everything I try to roll for in our seeds. Poidrax hopefully getting it to you, because this could still be the Darkness Crystal back here. The one thing we're still missing, and Dwarf Castle into this would be an interesting play, whereas Michaelo is getting that peek of what was behind Asura, as well as finding that duplicate Rydia. Probably not going to take it unless he wants to go for a full mage party, though.
Yeah, if you really wanted to bank on doing a D machine grind to get through the Dark Crystal spots, I mean, the level 1 Rydia is pretty tempting in that case. But of course, it depends on run preference here.
Absolutely. Personally, I would again take that Yang, get rid of the other Rydia, start my Bruisers on their way. You've got a great team aside from that. Again, both palettes that we have for the Rydia, though, the black and the purple hair, fantastic. We do have the Me Attack U script, not going to get the damage out, but still pretty quick. Usually you want to try and have your characters low, kill them off here so you're not worried about this script here. Just about a little bit of speed.
Wow. Both Rydias dismissed for Michael. I mean, I'm not a Rydia fan, and even I feel a little attacked by this.
Well, while we take the time for you to feel attacked, we're going to let DJ Spoony B, as he is occasionally known, do one of the few things we randomize in this seed, one being the music that we have here. So we're going to let him serenade us.
Love when my Yang delivers multiple status effects after I've already hourglassed everybody.
Hey, look, there's no kill quite like overkill. And as chat pointing out, and a lot of the people who play Final Fantasy know of this one, that is Genova, Genova's theme from Final Fantasy VII. Great song, fantastic for the fights when you see it. Whereas on the other side, Michael is picking up the Mirasam. Really easy fight with those Dark Yams from Rumblefish's side. So we're going to get a quick look at the key item check from here. And see what he's rewarded with, and that is a crystal that we're not really happy. We're not unhappy to see the crystal sword, not the darkness crystal. But that is a Cecil that is going to be destroying the rest of this seed, 100%.
Yeah, we've really upgraded him from destroying the rest of the seed to destroying the rest of the seed with that crystal sword.
Hey man, look, that's a what 40 damage upgrade by comparison, or 40 attack upgrade. Don't knock the damage. He's got to just smack it even faster.
Well, Michael trying to redeem himself at Dwarf Castle. We have not seen the rewards yet for either the Feymarch bosses, and we have not seen the reward yet for the top of the tower. So those are our main culprits to this point as far as the quest for Darkness Crystal, which is all that we need, or all that Michael needs. Rumblefish, if he ever checks package, will know. Well, it's all that they need to good to go mode.
Absolutely, and yeah, with Michael with that second shot, hopefully Rumble remembers his character check. Does not look like it's going back underground. With that crystal sword in hand, might be going to make another shot at the note, going right back towards the Feymarch. Yes, no, there we go. Lands. He's going to be taking a shot at those Feymarch bosses. Doll's not going to be that big of a problem. Whereas the Rubicante spot is going to be a very, very interesting fight for him to get through.
It's me, the biggest fan of trying to figure out where everybody is going as they're in the airship.
That's the thing. So we have a fair amount of checks still left open before we start having to worry about the Feymarch. Like we still have the Luge check, and well, now that we're going to be we just finished the Twin Harp. It's one of those ones that's like, okay, this is a lower level. Yeah, Luge is still rude in his vanilla spot, but with the upgraded weapon and the upgraded levels that we have under our belts now, would probably be a safer bet to go and check that, especially with a Thunderclaw Yang in tow and an Edge, than coming down here. So coming down here, yeah, it's more key item dense, but the safer check would probably be the top of the tower.
And Doll's getting some turns early on because of putting Cecil in the middle, I think.
Yeah, Cecil getting those a little bit extra speed, gonna be taking the hit. The nice thing is, even in the front row, taking 400, he takes multiples of those hits. That hourglass goes off. Wouldn't even be curing up here at this point. Just start swinging for the fences.
Well, the Doll started swinging for the fences at least. Woo!
Ooh, still getting some attacks off on some of their sides against the ones that were queued. But Quake Kid doing his thing, going to be opening up some more holes in the underground and knocking out those dolls pretty quickly.
And that is Yang dismissed for Michael. It was a good 5 minutes in the party.
Again, it's with the way his party is, I agree with the Yang dismissal. I think Rumblefish might be doing the same thing. Although getting rid of the Palom to have your Trizerkers going to town is not a bad thing. Unless he gets, say, the Luca key here, which he can then go and check that is. But we're getting the Pan instead, so that's another pair of key items and a little bit of the hole we're going down.
Will he even go back for the Ruby fight at this point? Maybe you might even save scum this.
I mean, the smart thing, I think, would be the save scum, because if you go, you check what the pan is, and it's literally nothing. You got your fully rested save here. You go and you make a shot at Ruby, and then you come, and then you just say nope, nothing, or make a shot with the pan, nothing. Cool, come back, knock out Ruby. We also have Michael getting his twin harp on the left side. Hopefully he goes through the music. Not required, but for the people, always got to pander.
Nope. Don't do it. Don't do it, Michael. For the good of the race, don't do it. Rumblefish electing to take on that Ruby fight. Don't know how good his Yang is as far as Ice Claw. That could be a factor here.
There is an Ice Claw I'm pretty sure that we saw. I don't know if he has it still, or it looks like he may have sold it, or he already has it equipped on his Yang. But yeah, I don't see it in the inventory. That is a 7K glare. These fires are going to hurt on the side of Rubicante. Let's see how much he's going to be taking. Oh, I'm mistaken. Well, Cecil's not going to be taking a whole heaping lot, but yeah, definitely doing a whole bunch of damage. Pointed out from chat, the Ice Claw on Mirasame Edge probably would be doing a little bit more than the Yang at this point, considering damage numbers wise.
True, however, you don't get the counter that way if you do power. So I could see it going that way as well.
There's arguments for both sides, and Michael is walking around getting that 1 HP. Probably going to be checking that twin harp right after, just so he can knock down his team a little easier.
Yeah, Ruby does not care for this at all, and I think Rumblefish may be getting the message that this is a little bit too much to bite off too soon. We'll see if he can recover a little bit. One of those things where when you have the cursed ring and you throw a cursed ring character in the middle, can do a lot for you here. And unfortunately, we've got Cecil in the middle, and Cecil is trying his best.
So I know in the remakes that the damage from glare is fire elemental. In the vanilla version of Final Fantasy IV, is it still fire elemental, or is it non-elemental here? Because if it is actually fire elemental and he has a fire resist piece, he could just absorb everything and have Cecil go to town with a Bacchus wine and auto attack and be healed by those fire twos.
No, yeah, it's still fire. You can throw on like an adamant armor and get it reduced to 1, I think.
So then, yeah, the true heads-up play would be Cecil, chug a wine, take that damage, and just counterattack for days with the ring on, the cursed ring.
Well, this is definitely a bludgeoning by Ruby. Hopeful here that Rumblefish can pull it out. Definitely putting out some damage still, just pretty slow. And Michael is headed towards the music, ignoring... Well, let's be honest, it's just me. Everybody else wants to hear the music. I've already heard it once, and I'm good.
Yeah, we're one and done. We don't need to hear it again. Don't need to hear it again.
No. You already said you wanted it again. I don't want to hear this. I know whose side you're on, Dallas.
Look, I'm always on the side of the people. I'm a fan of I'm a man of the people. I like having the music going, and stuff from Final Fantasy, one of the better soundtracks in my opinion. Can't argue with that. But Rumblefish is slowly recovering from this. Cecil taking the cover and get down, Mr. President Yang, and taking that hit really easily. Unfortunately, it doesn't last for long. He then takes the glare to the face, and we hopefully can get this recovered, and shouldn't be too big of a problem.
I do like this dart strategy at this point. You're desperate to win this fight. You definitely want to put as much damage on the field as you can, and that's one avenue that we have that we can do it with.
Absolutely. Any way to stop those counters you possibly can. The darts, the powers, the black magic not triggering it, so you're just looking for any way that you possibly can to prevent this damage as much as you can. Even Thor Rage is about to be used on. Man, look, you do what you can. You get at the damage where you can get it. Whereas we have the reprise of the music.
Hey, clutched it out. Nice job.
Absolutely. So Slug, he got through it, but let's see what he's rewarded with. Just a glass helm, a little bit of a womp womp in the key item location, and he looks at that for a little bit, and he's probably less than thrilled, but going to be going and checking that pan and smacking Yang for his insolence as a way to get over that.
Yeah, Pan definitely seems likely to lead us to go mode at this point. But Rumblefish is headed to the top of the tower.
Again, we still haven't had had that Luge beaten. We know it's there because of Michael's side, but Rumble had faded it earlier. Kind of a smart move on his point, considering he would have just gotten smacked around a whole lot, but very interesting that he's choosing to come back now as opposed to going to that pan and then making his way across here. Pathing-wise might have been a little bit nicer that way, but routing-wise easier this way, most likely.
And we are life glitching some dark imps. Michael getting that experience any way possible.
When you're a little struggling for XP and you see who those Fey March bosses is, knowing Rubiconte's there, you want that XP as often as you can. Plus, again, he was the one who took that wipe from Luge, so he knows the kind of scariness that can be up there. Going to be a little less scared of it now that he's seeing his Cecil's going to be wielding the most powerful weapon in this game without a specific flag on.
Yep, and interesting to see what he does next. I believe he's got also at the same point the Fey March bosses and top of tower left. Man, this really did wind up being pretty close, all things considered. Given that both of our restream runners had some tough fights to deal with.
Yeah, they've both taken wipes in different locations and both taken different struggle fights. It is nice seeing them going through it in different orders. They are retracing each other's steps in little bits. Michael laid way through the Dwarf Castle first, just the first boss. Also checked Luge, as we mentioned, which is where he's going to go back and pay another visit to the good doctor. Rumblefish retracing that, going through some of these checks a little bit faster because he now has that Cecil and has a full party in some of the other locations. But for the most part, both runners making this very same decisions, just in a little bit opposite of orders, which goes to show even some of the skill of all the runners that they think the same. A lot of them have the same kind of path of thinking.
The one thing that Michael has on hand over Rumblefish right now, because Rumble has cleared everything but the spot and hasn't turned in the pan yet, is he does know that Tella is at the package and he's already collected Tella. So that is, I think, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, given the Gauntlet fights there. So once that kind of evens out a little bit, we could see a pretty close race at the end.
Absolutely, and we don't know whether that pan is required or if just top of tower is required. So that those Fey March bosses could have lost Rumblefish a fair amount of time. The amount of time that he's gone through those 2 fights could mean nothing. It could mean that the pan has everything. As we have seen, Sheila has been the key to a fair amount of seeds, even if all she has is cooking appliances.
This is a very Bonab Z heavy seed, I feel like. We've seen him twice already.
Yeah, and speaking of seeing twice, question in the chat, do we know who the dupe is? It was Rydia. She was both in Baron Inn and she was at the top of the Tower of Zot. But yeah, we've seen 3 rounds of Balnab Z. I kind of don't disagree with it happening. If you kill Luge first and you have Balnab at lower HP, that explode can do next to nothing, or it just takes out a character and it's not a big deal because you don't get the experience until the second hit.
I'm actually not sure if this happens in the randomizer or not, but vanilla-wise, if you get that Balnab Z, it gets an HP refill. So I'm not sure if that happens in his vanilla spot or if it's something that's turned off in every spot.
That's an interesting thought. We have to find him in some other spot for science at some point. But yeah, Quake Kid making very short work of the Good Doctor. A couple levels on the team, and it's probably going to be the exact same kind of going for michaelofoz, both having that Quake, just putting it down. But the pan is not required. Rumblefish getting that Darkness Crystal is going to be running to the moon, hoping to get that Tela. I hope he doesn't forget Package, but we are in. Michael's going to be in Go mode. Rumble is technically in Go mode. He just has to go and turn in that Package.
And his screen is in shake mode, so don't adjust your sets. That is purely how FF4 handles the poison status if you're walking around. So it's not you, it's us.
Absolutely. And the thing is here, so with what we have access to, most likely we're going to see a D machine grind, unless on the Lunar Dais or in the Hummingway abode, we're going to see the idea of some sirens or checking the Evelyn Cave, but it is almost guarantee going to be going towards that D machine. And we have a little bit of the audio from the poison going in. Our restreamer Poidrak having a little bit of audio fun with for you guys to listen to.
Yeah, this is actually great news for Michael because once he gets his Dark Crystal, he will actually be in full go mode. And Rumblefish will spend some more time checking locations that might not necessarily matter. He can check the lunar character. If the lunar character is not Fu, then probably save some time for Michael. And generally, it's good to be in go mode, in my opinion.
Absolutely. But so Rivers, in your opinion, you've run a whole lot more of these seeds than I have, so I'm going to ask for your expert opinion. So knowing what you have here, you've got the Darkness Crystal, you've got the Package, and you've got the Pan. Do you chase down that Pan key quest line just to see if we have access to more characters? Do you just rush the Package and just check it and reset, which most people would do? Or what are your thoughts of being in Rumblefish's shoes? We're an hour and 20 minutes in. We're still missing that Tela. Where do you go from here?
If I were Rumblefish, I would have checked that Package probably 40 minutes ago. like that, because if you're in a character seed, knowing where the character is that important to me. But I totally understand why he's put this off. He's had some character locations in Earth. He's had character in Darkness, and it's not like he's in full-blown go mode yet because it could all be behind Darkness. So understand, just not how I prefer to play.
Absolutely, and yeah, there's the many different things that it could possibly be. It could, if he hadn't seen the dupe Rydia, he could say, "Oh, maybe there's two Telas," and I could get lucky elsewhere. But we know where the only one is, and he may even go to Giant, go do his D machine grind and get everything dealt with. But he is leaving the Lunar Whale after getting that free heal. Where is he off? Oh no, back in. Whereas michaelofoz is doing his own raising of the whale, going right up to the moon. It looks like Froggy checking that lunar character.
All right, so maybe Rumblefish. If you're Rumblefish, maybe you're hoping you get something good at the item shop. Obviously, you're still hoping to find Tela. You won't, because we know where he is. But maybe you get Fu out of this, so it's not like totally pointless. Tier 3s are nice.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, still no sirens. We haven't checked the Evelyn shop, and again, the Evelyn character. So there's another character we have no idea who it is, hiding in Evelyn that we had really early access to. But yeah, question in chat. We do have the randomizer free for everybody, so it's not just these are just for racing scenarios. Anyone can do these. You can make your own seeds. You can do as powerful as you want, where we have wild stuff, or you can have it as hard as you want, is what we call kata seeds, where you are struggling. But Michael is not going to be struggling. He's heading right to that giant, and he's going to be probably grinding and then going to finish it off. Whereas on Rumblefish's side, we have a Lunar Dragoon.
Right, and that's kind of interesting because I think we've already thrown that Gungnir, so yeah, he is tossed post haste. Michael is the first one in the giant. This is interesting. It gets interesting when you get down to these racers you haven't heard of so much. So, like, a lot of it could come down to familiarness with the D machine grind. You see Rumblefish going for giant right away as well. Won't have the opportunity to D machine grind without Tela. So that might be interesting as well. He might run into a roadblock. We know that he is saved already on the overworld, so he might revert back to that save.
Indeed, he does have a few more levels on Michael because of the fact that he's done the Fame March bosses, so he might just even rush right towards this these two bosses here. May struggle a bit, but again, you could have a couple of free bosses. We still have some freebies on the seed, whereas Michael's going to actually just give us a first look at one of them. We have Mylon, probably Mylon and Friends I'm calling right here.
Well, we won't know now.
Michael, please, why do you tease me like this?
Kind of surprised we didn't sit through the extra for that, but fair enough. Maybe get a D Machine Grab going. Best of our knowledge, neither of them checked the hook route now.
Yeah, so no hook route has been checked. The only hooks that they've made use of is getting that rat tail, which has been, which I think that was with Mirasame was, or what was behind that?
That was Earth Crystal. That was Earth Crystal.
You're right. Yeah, so Earth Crystal there, and then the Darkness Crystal at the top of Tower of Babel. So it would have been keyless tower required, but the D Machine Grind. Yep, that's the thing. If you know what you're doing, looks like Michael does, taking that reset, whereas Rumble's going to show us which one of the Mylons we're going to fight in this spot here.
And this is another thing to bring up the Cursed Ring again. This is another fight you really want that Cursed Ring on your anchor. Makes things a lot faster, and not actually a tough fight, but might lose some time because of that.
He might. The lit shouldn't hit very hard here. The smart play to do it would be to kill off all the ghasts except one, and then go from Cecil smacking Mylon and Yang smacking it, because, yeah, those quad nines, he is not long for this world. But if you take down all of his gas, yes, you lose time because of the drain spell, but Mylon himself will not punch. The physical attack in this location is ridiculously high. We've seen Odin spots here where the Odin didn't hit very hard, but the auto attacks between were almost wrecking characters in one hit.
The only thing I would say right now is if I am Rumblefish, I am aching to get that blink up on Cecil. Everybody else, whatever. But once you actually kill all the ghasts, you're gonna want that blink on Cecil.
Absolutely. Cecil will take about 3 hits, I'm pretty sure, and just absolutely make the shortest work of this boss you'll ever see. Probably going to be quad 9s out on there. That crystal sword is absolutely a very fair and balanced weapon when you find it. Actually popping just around 4k, so not that bad. And those Litzes you see doing about 34, so not a whole lot of damage. If Mylon can get a swing or two off with his melee attack, we might see a couple people going down. But aside from that, it's not going to be the scariest fight here.
Yeah, Mylon and Mylon Z, to kind of correct some popular conceptions, Mylon not weak to anything. Mylon Z weak to everything. So unfortunately, kind of the way this works is that the Crystal Sword damage does not get boosted like it does against the zombies, and Fire 3 that Talon cast doesn't get doubled or whatever. So it's slower than you would think, but it's not hard.
Absolutely. And we see on Michael's side, he does get very lucky, always lucky first time, gets that D machine. Going to be taking that weak, taking the fires. Not going to be too painful though. All it does is percentage HP damage, which is not the worst. Tried to get that life off with the Ice 2. Is going to get the double life off from Rosa and Cecil though. Could have gotten the triple. Very, very hard to do so. Ice 2 is your best friend here, being able to be that little bit slow cast so you can get the double glitch off to half your time.
We're just showing off some invenerable strats here, huh?
Yeah, but against with the invenerable strats, we do have 10 key items on michaelofoz's side. That kind of slipped under the radar for the both of us, so he's getting double experience from these fights as well.
Yeah, this is probably a scenario where you don't need that many D machines. You might want to take like 6 or 8 or something like that, depending on how comfortable you are. But he's not going to get any slingshots either, so that kind of has to factor into it as well.
Probably, I'd probably go 10 just to make it so that you have the most face rolly possible. Because, like Chat mentioned earlier, and it's true. So we got Fu, we've got Sid, and we've got Edward as our last three characters. Um, Rumblefish doesn't know that yet because he thinks one of the other ones here. But this is a spot. Do your grind, get him knocked out, because this is going to be your end team, and it's a fairly good one. You got Pylon to do reflex and nerfs. You got Tella, who's going to die eventually. And you've got Cecil and Edge to be berserked, and Rosa to keep everybody alive. This is pretty much, aside from Rydia being in Palom's spot, it's a French vanilla final team with an old man instead of a Dragoon.
Tella is extremely valuable character in these seeds, and especially with the D Machine fights, in so much as he's kind of the person that helps everybody else learn. So in a way, he's like that teacher who's like, I have to reach these kids.
Absolutely. But yeah, the fact that we're doing the D Machine so late, as mentioned in chat, the reason why is because we just found the Darkness Crystal. We haven't found Sirens anywhere. This is our grind. We haven't had the chance to be able to do it elsewhere, or else I'm pretty sure the runners would have done so. It's been not quite a rude seed, but it's been a kind of less than optimal seed, I guess would be probably the nicest way to put it.
Down goes Mylon for Rumblefish. So those are some levels. I think he's probably pretty close to the point where he doesn't need to grind at all. Maybe just like the CPU fight with completing it with Cecil, and he'll be fine.
Maybe, yeah. We see Kier 4 and Wall for that Rosa. I'm pretty sure those were both for her. So absolutely got a lot of the experience. Yeah, in the early 40s now. Probably about another 5 or 10 levels. So by going down the moon, he's going to be skipping this. Whereas Michael is going to be doing a little bit more of a face roll. Is casting weak on that searcher. Is finally done with his grind. We're going to see how many levels we're getting on each person here, though.
Kind of a mistake to leave Tella alive, but
that's 32 levels on that Tella, 21 on that Palom.
That is
probably
a
going to
buff
be around
Tella,
the same
friends.
for everybody else. That is a buff man. Gets that nuke. 20 levels on Rosa. That's gonna put her probably somewhere in the late 40s. It looks like. There's White. Yeah, that's the 50s for your people right there.
And CPU spot is K-Natsu. Oh baby. Glad that was not one spot earlier.
I was just about to say, we also got the Hourglass 3 drops. That's the true thing. Yeah, 55 on Nutella, 51 on Cecil, 50s all around. That's a lot of XP. And yeah, that Kagnazo, this is the second worst spot. This is like the second spot you don't want to see him. You'd rather see him where michaelofoz is about to find himself a very, very knocked down Mylon with friends. But Kagnazo, again, those slow rages, you pick him up early, folks. This is some of the things that I do. Quick spot, knock it out real quick. No lightning, no gathering the water for you. Just eat some blizzards, eat some nukes, and get taken down by the monk, the ninja, and the paladin.
So, kind of a quick routing thing here. Rumblefish is going to finish this first, obviously. He's got, already one down. Kagnazo is pretty close to down at this point. Has the one objective left. It's going to be interesting to see if he actually checks that hook in that package before he winds up finishing the vanilla white spear altar, because that could save him a lot of time. If he goes right to that white spear altar thinking that that's, maybe it's at the Baron key or something, that could cost a lot. So could be kind of a race altering decision.
This is true. You're finishing the giant, you're on the overworld. There's no reason for you to jump into the overworld as it is, considering we know where the package is. You can just fly that little bit north, check the package, whereas we get a swag meteor from michaelofoz's side after some spells. Don't really see it often. You'll love to see it happen though. But again, go get that, check that package, reset out, and then go up to the moon would be the best way to play. Because you're going up to the moon anyways to check the key items. Just knock out that check as long as you remember it. He could straight up just forgotten that he has the package. That has happened.
Yeah, the package definitely one of the more forgettable key items for sure. The one thing I think might save him is he does have a hook. We have seen him check that tracker screen before, so he seems pretty with it as far as that goes.
That is true, but again, as we say, these situations, he's at the 1-1 spot. You kind of not want to try to drop any more races. Like, you can go 1 and 2 and still have your chance of getting through. But you're at the point where it's every win is starting to kind of count and matter. Like, they matter every time, anyways. But as long as you're going 3 and 2, so maybe a little bit of nerves, maybe a little bit of something else. But he does get through. Kainatsu gets a heck of a lot of XP and is basically matching Michael's levels here.
Yeah, and Michael is only gonna grab more levels too. So this is gonna be a really overpowered zero miss finish. We might see Palin push 2k HP on the Michael side.
Absolutely, and we have a Bard guarded by Kainatsu up here in the Giant. Rumble's not going to be too happy to see that. Hide Dia in the chat because I know she would absolutely love a Bard right here. But yeah, so he's going to dismiss that right away. Hopefully goes and checks that package. If all he does is then go right up to the moon, that will cost him a lot. Whereas Michael is currently on his way down, going to be on his way down in the moon afterwards.
Michael just dripping with swag in that fight. The swag medio and the swag kamikaze kill as well.
Hey, if you're doing these runs, sometimes you got to put it on a show for us. You got to do the swags. Rumblefish is going and trading out the big whale for another airship, though.
Yep. So we could see the hook. The hook is online still, and then also the package. So we know the package is what they want to do.
Looks like
we're
he's
gonna see
checking
hook
that
instead.
Character. Again, we know, and it hurts from the commentator side because we know what's happening here. This should have been checked, what, about an hour and a half ago, almost? But yeah, we're going to see what this character is. We're going to see if we're going to maybe see sirens here. But we do have those 2 checks that he has right here before he has to go up to, before he, quote, would have to go up to the moon.
Well, he definitely doesn't need anything at this point with the sirens because, I mean, he's already got levels commensurate to finish the game, and we know that he's going to fight that vanilla white spear spot as well.
Whereas he picks up a fair amount of them, 16 to be exact. That's an interesting pickup.
And I think Michael also made up some time out from that D Machine fight just in easier fights with Kainatsu and Mylon. You saw the media work out for him. You saw some nukes come out of Palom. Like, this has not been a tough slate of fights at all for Michael, whereas Rumblefish kind of had to stagger on that Mylon for a while.
Speaking of staggering, the edge does hit the ground. A little bit unfortunate, but being able to get him up probably with a life 2. These waves shouldn't do a whole lot more. Up still 1,000. There's our foo. That would have been really nice to have when we could have had this about 20 minutes into the seed, by the way. As an FYI, Foo.
This was Fabul. This was Fabul. Yeah.
Yep. And this is why, folks. So this is a PSA from Bathas. When you're given a free hook, doesn't matter where you are, just check that character because it is Schrodinger's Foo. You don't check it, that's where he is. You check it, he's not there. Get it out of your mind as quick as possible because if the character's not there, you don't need a hook route. Even if you've got a magma key, reset out, put that put the hovercraft over by the rat tail check and just ignore this place. But you hate to see it. You love to see it as somebody else. But yes, always do your character checks as soon as they come up.
I just want you to know that I've never had a race in this tournament that came down to having food early. Not a thing. Not a thing. So Rumblefish is going to check the package here. Unfortunately, we know that he's going to be a bit behind with the cutscene and everything. Damage might be in the realm of 2 minutes, 2:30. So we'll have to make that up on Michael as they both enter, go mode here, and Michael only has the white spear spot to clear.
Absolutely. So we do have the pickup, and that is Zemus burning down the village of Baron. Actually, the second time I've seen him, he was in one of the asyncs we have currently running on. But yeah, gonna get this tell up. Probably kicking himself that he didn't check this earlier. But again, with the team that you have, this is still a great team to be doing the final run with. Michael actually picking up that Bard as an anchor, ditches Tella. That's interesting.
That is a pure anchor strategy right there. Tella did his job. Kudos to Tella. And we're headed right for the moon to try to win this seed quickly.
100%. All Michael has to do is go do the White Spear and then run right down to Golbez immediately afterwards. So the way it works is you do these 5 objectives, you get the crystal. You don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to forge it, none of those shenanigans. You get it right where you are. Usually you want to have it in a place where you're on your way to your final objective and then be able to go right to the boss afterwards. Whereas all the talk with the foo in the wrong spot, there is a whole lot of fooling puns going on in chat. I'm living for this. You're probably just cringing here, Rivers, and I do apologize, but it's fantastic.
It's okay. The chat's always been dead to me.
Wow, not a man of the people for music and not a man of the people for the puns. I see how it is, but yeah, we have Rumble going to be getting through our alt gauntlet here. So one of the things on for this specific event, as we mentioned very briefly, the alt gauntlet is an alternate to the Fabul gauntlet. Fabul gauntlet's normally 6 fights, if I remember correctly, with mostly human with a couple of regular enemies, and then the one flying gargoyle fight. This is where it's picked off from enemies in the surrounding combat area. Whereas we're in a low level spot, things are just going to get absolutely smashed around. In a higher level spot, like say on the moon, you could be fighting warlocks. You can fight King Ryus, Ging Ryus. You could fight all the nasty things around there. So it just has a little bit of a spice up to it, and it's only 5 encounters at that point. But they can be very, very deadly if you're not ready for them, or if you don't get your healing in between. It's a little bit worse than what the vanilla game would be if you were doing it at a lower level.
It's a great flag if you want to hate yourself and go to the low spot with all Gauntlet. Just a great flag. We all love it.
Hey, also, it can make up for a grind if you haven't done it yet. So the thing is again, you get the regular experience from those battles, and they're not triggered by the boss flag. So if you do life glitches on some of the enemies, you can get a whole lot of experience from those locations. And there's the grind that could push you up further in levels if you're kind of middling around.
Let's not forget that 10 key item sandworm grind. Picking up 180. Rumblefish really securing his position now.
Whoa! Calm down now. That's far too much experience. We have to scale that down a little bit.
180, baby. That's almost enough to get Tella like a 1/10 of a way to a level in the vanilla game.
Very true. So actually, a little bit of an interesting question that's coming up from comments in chat. What would you classify as a jet seed in this flag set? We're seeing some people saying sub hour 30 is a jet seed. Where do you lie as like what would be called a jetty seed?
I mean, it really depends on who you have, because sometimes you get the jet seeds aren't really made all the same. Like sometimes it's a Foo jet seed, sometimes the Cecil X Cow jet seed, sometimes it's I got the Pan Early jet seed. And we've got a free fight here, so this isn't even difficult. Water Hag just hanging out waiting to get bashed. But I would say probably like sub 120 is a jet seed in this flag set.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. Anything under, like Chad was saying, and I agree, anything under an hour and 30 is definitely a very jetty seed. We've seen average about 2.5 is like where we get to like the average for the longer side. Middling is around the 145 to 2-ish hours. But yeah, as for the chat, it's he's resetting out of that fight. I guess he didn't want to hit the XP on Edward.
But this is going to give Rumblefish a little time to catch up, so that is a thing.
This is true, and that little bit of extra time could cost him in the Z fight as well. With Rumblefish having a full team that can do damage and being down that one character. Yes, Tella's probably going to get maybe 1 or 2 spells off, but it's still the possibility to do something like that.
And yeah, they do have a cursed ring. I guess they were just a little bit too nervous about the possibility there. I'm not sure how many Edward games from this. I think it's probably around 30. But
Easy 30
Curse
or
String
so
will probably
levels.
keep him. Curse String will probably keep him like sub 10 or so.
Yeah, again, when you're at this point and you haven't seen the dot done from your opponent yet, and you know that you're in go mode, there's nothing wrong with it being safe as opposed to being sorry. We don't even get to see what the key item is from there, whatever dropped from there, because of the text box glitch. Rumblefish will give us the second shot though. But we do get the crystal. He is officially in go mode. That last light is ready to go, and he's probably maybe a swag save, or just gonna do the swag walk in. But Rumblefish nipping right at his heels.
This is a thing right now where Michael is taking some time with these menus. I mean, if Rumblefish really wants to push it, not an impossible catch-up at all.
Might not be a ribbon, because there was a ribbon for sale that I believe Michael Lowe picked up in Kakol's Forge. So it might have been a ribbon, might not have been one.
Yeah, both of the runners picked that up, yeah. And this is a seed where, I mean, when you look back at it, skipping on that early food for both runners really, they put them both behind, because they both wound up having tough fights. Dwarf Castle, top of tower. Rumblefish especially struggled with that Ruby fight for probably 6 or 7 minutes. And I mean, that's a lot of difference of where we are right now.
Absolutely, and Michael O doing the inventory management before going into Zeromus, getting everything organized, whereas Rumblefish getting through that fight very, very easily, getting the XP, and it was a ribbon, so we do have the second ribbon. Is he doing the save, and then are we going to have them high five as they walk by? What is going to happen? Oh, he's just barely passing. And at 1 hour 45-ish, 1 hour 44 minutes, we had Michael O in go mode. And 1 hour 45 minutes, we have Rumblefish right behind him, also checking up and making sure he's got all of his gear ready. And guys, we have ourselves a race going on.
Well, the other thing we have right now is that there appear to be a number of flags in the chat that have a Z on them. Do you know why that is?
I believe so. In this randomizer, as you see, a lot of things are different. We have different sprite palettes. We have different music. There's one other thing that the fabulous Scala Kitty has done for us. Zeromus, he's such a hard boss. We can't throw him anywhere else. That Big Bang still hurts no matter what. So what we do is we like to have a little fun, and we change up not where he is, but what he looks like. So with a palette of something, or a way of going about 400-ish or so sprites, there is one big question we like to ask, and that question is, whose butt are we gonna kick this evening?
Personally, I think it's time for Barfmas. It's been a while. I think I'm really feeling the Barfmas today.
I'd be okay with Barfmas. Earthbound is one of my more favorite RPGs. I still say the favorite of the one that I've seen so far has to be Potatomus. No context for why it's even in there, because if you know from there previously, it was fantastic. Just out of nowhere. Oh, Barkleyness. Oh, yeah, that would be a good one. I thought I heard Barfmas. My apologies.
I've never been so insulted as I am right now.
Look, I'm sorry, Rivers. I can't hear. I'm occasionally bad at hearing things.
But the real answer is Wilymas.
Wilymas, fantastic. Mega Man boss, and probably one of the more fun game series from the NES onwards, actually. Really nice sprite too. So just a question for Skull in the chat: is there more than one Wily in there, or is it just that one who just nukes Edward right in the face?
It makes sense that Wilymas would come here after getting his butt kicked in several Mega Man games. He never seems to actually die. Chat asking if there is a Jectmus. There is a Ject. I think it's called Aeonmus, but there is a Jectmus, yes. And there are up to, I think, 400 sprites at this point. So I mean, there's a lot of variety out there.
So, fun fact, Rivers, did you know that there is only one single sprite that is in here twice?
No, I did not.
I'm not going to spoil which one it is, but we do have both runners in here. We have both Wileys on the screen, and we have a fight going on. That first Big Bang nuked very nicely, nerfed very nicely. The nerf for the second one is going to be probably doing around the same, and this is going to be very, very close.
I'm not sure if Rumble put that curse ring on or not during his menu. I was kind of not paying attention, but either way, that Palm is going to get, broken right here with the Big Bang.
Yeah,
And,
taking the nuke into the Big Bang, even with that medium damage, yeah, it's a quick knockdown of the Palom. Whereas we have Berserk Cecil going to town, Reflex Rats up on Michael's side, and 3 Berserkers as well. It's going to be very, very close.
And our nuking Palom is actually helping out a lot here. This is damage that Rumblefish isn't necessarily getting quite as much of.
No, considering his Palom died. And we also had Rosa throwing out a couple of reflected whites as well. Not a spell you want to direct cast on there, because Zeromus counters most spells with a reflected nuke of his own. Whereas if you cast white on him, he does a weak instead, which puts your character down to next to no HP and gets wrecked and can wreck your characters with the HP drain afterwards.
Yeah, you can only do that on the first phase before the Big Bang hits and still survive, unfortunately. We do see some rocks
falling. Only hitting Cecil on edge. This is what you like to see. Cecil throwing out those 70 hits. There's the blinks, and it's over, ladies and gentlemen. 1 hour. We're gonna get the official SRL time posted in just a second. I think it was 1 hour 50 minutes and probably about 5 seconds and change. But we do have this round 3, this match winner. michaelofoz advances to 2-1, and Rumblefish is going 1-2. Very, very close race between the two runners. Absolutely fantastic. And we are in fact joined by michaelofoz right now. GG's on that finish, my friend.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. So tell us a little bit about the beginning of the seed and how things were starting to shape up, and a little bit of your routing.
Well, right in the beginning, I saw Rydia there, so I wanted to get there kind of quickly and just to knock that objective out. And so I kind of like doubled back down there. I felt like I did really well on the start of the seed, but it was like the middle where I was like, I could use a few levels, and I don't know exactly where to go.
Yeah, you had a little bit of struggle in some of the mid-game spots. You took a couple of deaths and a couple of wipes, most notably on the Asura fight, and actually on that Luge that you checked, whereas Rumblefish just dipped the top of the tower, the key tower, and then left. What was your thought when you saw the Asura fight, and what made you want to try that fight twice?
The first time, I knew I had mute arrows, and I thought between mute arrows and Excalibur damage, I might be able to just zerk her down fast enough. But then it didn't work, so I thought I'd go back in and try Reflect, putting a wall up on her and see if I can get through it that way. Neither of them turned out to work well for me, so...
Yeah, the joys of having even a lightsaber Cecil with just one other DPS kind of doing it. That spot is a lot more HP at the current moment than what a lot of people think. But you got through. One of the other things is seeing the Edward. You took him over the Tella. Why not just throw the cursed ring on Tella? Why did you swap out the anchor for the Edward?
I honestly don't pay much attention to the agility, especially with the levels that I had. I wasn't super worried. I just figured whoever's at the top of this giant, I'm just going to replace Tella with, because I didn't kill Tella off during the Dragon Grind.
Okay, Michael, it's time for some hard facts.
All right.
There was a Fusoya behind that hook.
Oh, okay.
And there were sirens there as well. And neither of you checked it for an hour and 40 minutes.
I thought about it. I was like, when I checked package for Tella, that was definitely my next spot. If Tella wasn't there, I was going to go down in the cave and see who was there. But I got Tella, and I was like, okay, all I need is darkness now, and I'm good.
Yeah, it was tough, and both you and Rumblefish struggled with a certain subset of bosses in that middle ground there, and you just we came upon as a chat, and we're just watching this, and Rumblefish finally got there and checked that found Siren Sanfu, and everybody was face palming hard on your behalf. We're so sorry.
I think I facepalmed the hardest when I had to walk all the way back up tower again, and then found the darkness crystal there, and I was like, holy cow, I was so close to beating him the last time, and I could have got this done a lot earlier.
Yeah, that was tough. The way that the berserk status got blocked by the poison. That's kind of an upper trick, and unfortunately, you also summoned that Belknap Z, and he kind of knocked some of your characters around too.
Yeah, that's another learning experience there. I didn't realize that blocked berserk, so...
We mentioned it during the time we were there, but it not only blocks Berserk, but it also blocks out certain commands. Another one of them being the power command for Yang, just as an FYI. But while we're still in the middle of this, we have another GG's going on here. Rumblefish finishing at an official time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, 19 seconds. Well run by both of you. He was nipping right at your heels when you guys were about to do that Soromas fight as an FYI. You're a little bit of a grind over him. You were doing around 2k extra on that Cecil, plus you kept your Palom up. So you guys were very, very neck and neck. It was super close on that Z fight, by the way.
Yeah, I saw his dot done like 4 minutes after mine, and I was like, oh wow, that was a lot closer than I expected, and especially after doing that water hag fight twice to kill Eddie off, I was like, oof.
Yeah, that's where we were insane. It's like, oh, you took the reset after the water hag. We were kind of curious, and it's like, oh, you didn't kill off Edward, just didn't throw the cursed ring on you, which again makes sense if you're not like 100% paying attention to agility basis, but was draw the gap a little bit closer. Any comments about the seed? Any further thoughts about this or about the gauntlet so far?
No, not much else. That was a pretty fun seed.
Well, congrats on going to 2-1 for sure. That puts you in a good position. I guess, is there anybody out of that 2-1 pool that you want to play next round?
Oh, I have no idea who's in that pool actually, so I'm not sure.
Well, you could get the good old Dusty Griff. That'd be fun, right?
Oh, I'll take that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, you want it. I like it. I like people want to fight the best players. I like it a lot.
All right. Well, GG's, Michaelo, very well done. Again, you advanced 2-1. We will see you in the next round of the Gauntlet.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
And again, that was michaelofoz, 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 10 seconds for his finish here over Rumblefish in round 3. And we are also joined by Rumblefish with his second place finish. GG's on that well-run seed, my friend.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I was just, I thought I did pretty well. 4 minutes, just 4 minutes behind, but I thought I was pretty well executed though, nonetheless.
So give us a little bit of the mental breakdown of the start of the seed and as you were going. And we have a big question we're going to ask you a little bit later. We're going to leave that for a bit. But give us a little bit of the rundown of what your thoughts were when you were going through the key item checks in the beginning.
Well, I thought I was having a lot of good success actually early on. I mean, I skipped Antlion Cave, which I know like normally everybody else does first, but I just wanted to sink my teeth into it and go I think I did, once I had the characters, I could only get 4 because of the standard ruby. Then I went to Mount Ordeals, which was a lot easier. So I thought I was kind of exploring some new territory. I thought I might be behind though. When I got the Earth Crystal, I went through towers, and it was the Murasame, but that's not, of course, not a progression item. And there was no character there that I thought for sure it was going to be like to tick off one of my character objectives, but I wasn't able to do that. So then I went back down to the Fey March and did both of the bosses there, and that ended up also being a wrong turn. So I kind of got an inkling that I was making some bad choices. But then I went along, and I honestly forgot. It might have made the difference for me if I had done the package a little early on and found Tella there, take off that character objective. But I ended up doing that last, and But I mean, still nonetheless, I think I still did pretty good.
No, you routed very well, and yeah, that was what we were gonna really wanted to ask you. Is you had access to that package way earlier? Did you forget about it? But it sounds like you did. Another thing is you didn't deal too very late was going and checking for that Fusoya. Why did you put off the hook character check so far down the line as well when you had essentially 2 free characters you could have looked at?
Well, those were 2 free characters, but also I just felt like the main deal was to get the key items done first, and then hopefully the character. Like, I was thinking that I was going to be behind the giant, for example. I thought, well, if I get that done first and get that check done first, and then that way I would be able to save time in case it's a duplicate, tell us some other players or something like that. I just sense that I'd be saving more time with this route, but I'm not really quite sure if that was the case. Overall, though, I mean, the seed had a lot of challenges to it. I mean, one thing that I had to do that Rubicon fight, and I didn't know if I was going to quite make it. That ended up being pretty challenging at that level. But I was able to keep everyone alive, life potions, and just being sure he doesn't have to use physical attacks, so he would counterattack with fire too. And I was able to pull through it. And,
yeah, that was a big difference maker between the two of you, actually, because Michael never went down to fight either of those bosses, the dolls or Ruby, and you probably sunk maybe 5 or 6 minutes on that Ruby fight just trying to get it right.
Right. That I bet you that did probably sink up a lot, because it ended up being necessary too, because neither of them yielded a progression item, as I remember, which is unfortunate.
Yep. So you will move to 1 and 2. Still got a chance to make the play-in round. I guess who are you hoping to face next round?
Well, I guess the answer to that question is gonna be predicated on who are my fellow 1 and 2s. I just hope I face someone who's a really competent, skilled player. So those are usually the best matches. Some people are gonna want to watch on the restream. So hopefully I'll get someone like I have no idea who the other 1 and 2s are. That's the thing, but I just want somebody that people are gonna want to watch because I like it.
Fair enough. Well, thank you so much for the race. You played really well, and unfortunate to fall by 4 minutes, but gave a lot of entertainment to our fans for sure.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And that was Rumblefish with his 1 hour, 54-minute time clear for his second place. Still well run by both runners. Everyone doing a good check. That is going to do it from us here. We are going to be taking it over to rating another one of our runners who is running tomorrow in Venerable. We're going to be rating him while he's doing a practice seed. So from myself, from Rivers, and our team that we have in the background who really couldn't help this make this run going without it, we have Poidrak, who's doing our restream, and Fries123, who's doing our tracking. 2 of them. Guys, give our runners and give our commentary or fellow restreamer team a follow. Fantastically done race, and without all the volunteers behind the scenes, these can't be done.